Hi pilots and co-pilots, Brian here. Today I'm going to be taking a small flight in X-Plane 11 Beta 2. I'm trying out some of my ortho for XP scenery and adding some of the other scenery I've had before in X-Plane 10 that I've installed in X-Plane 11. And today I'm going to be doing a flight from Portland up to Olympia Regional Airport near Seattle. And I'm going to go via Mt St Helens to have a nose round in Mt St Helens. And I want you to join me on the way. I'm going to do this as a two-part video because this is kind of long. I think it will probably be a two-parter, so we'll see. So here, if you don't already know about it, I'm using SkyVector, which I discovered is a really useful way, certainly for VFR, to figure out interesting flights where you might want to go. So here I am centered over Portland. Yeah, I really recommend getting to grips with SkyVector. You don't need to sign up for one of their accounts, because that's for real flight. We're sim flight, so we don't need to, but it still has very useful tools, and I love this map. So I'm centered over kPDX Portland here. If I right click on it, you can see I can add it to my flight plan. But look, if I hover over the airport, look, I've got all the airport diagram, I've got all the instrument approaches, everything else for that airport. This is the same for all airports in the US airspace, from one coast to the other. Absolutely amazing. Now I happen to live just north of the border there in Canada, and we don't have the same resource online. So go make use of this if you're flying in US airspace. This is absolutely brilliant. So for the sake of today's flight, I'm going to start off. I've added it to my flight plan. If I go up here, kPDX I'm starting at. My speed, probably, I'm going to hammer it. I'm going to be doing 150, and I want to fly at, can I get away with 7,000? Maybe, we'll see. I'm going to fly that. I'm going to go up via this VR here. Add that to my plan. Oh, that's alright, I don't care. Don't care about reaching altitude. Now, where's Mt St Helens? Somewhere around here. So an intersect there. I'm going to use that. That'll do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly up here, go around Mt St Helens, do a loop around there, and then I'm going to head up to there. There's Olympia. Right, click on that. Yes. I'm going to go there. Bit of a dog leg, but I'm going to go up to there, up to there, up to here. Now on my flight, I'm going to use the default Baron that comes with X-Plane 11 and load that into the GPS. I'm not going to do it by directly loading it into the GPS with waypoints. That's far too tedious for me today. So I'm going to load in an X-Plane flight plan that's already been created. Can't really do it in here. This is for real world flight. You can do, if I just show you this, if I do a nav log, you can see it, you can print this out if you want. And this takes into account real world weather as of the moment and includes that into the calculations for the actual magnetic heading and so on you should fly. Very cool, but I'm not going to use that for today. I just wanted to map out an interesting location to fly. So I'm actually going to use SimBrief. I haven't signed up for a free account there. There's loads of other free flight mapping tools you can use as well to generate an X-plane output, but here you can see I've mapped in exactly the same route. I'm flying from Portland across to there, up to by Mt St Helens. I'm going to deviate from my flight plan there to do a loop around the mountain and have a look at the scenery, and then across here straight into Olympia Regional. And from there I can actually download from a flight sim, and I can download an X-plane flight sim. So you download that, then you move it to your folder in X-plane. It's in your X-plane folder, then outputs, and then there's an FMS folder under there. I'll put it in the notes underneath the video so you can go find it. So here I am in the plane. I'm going to fire the beast up. You can see it's very calm, perfect weather. In my previous video you might have seen I've been talking about the control pad app that you can put on the iPhone to adjust the weather and things. I might use that in this flight. I have a feeling I want to see what Mt St Helens looks like around evening time, but naturally I don't want to fly in the rest of the flight in darkness, so I'll probably then adjust the time back to daytime. The wonderful thing about flight sims is you are king. In fact, you're God, you control everything, so here's what I'm going to do. But this is quite a gorgeous airport, this. If I actually come out and go and... I mean, look at this. Lovely. With the scenery around, a bit of haze, realistic looking buildings into the distance. You can see activity on the airport. No longer do airports look completely dead and bereft of life in X-plane, which was always a problem for me. I do like this. I really get the feel that I'm there. I would like more AI activity with aircraft, and hopefully one day the makers of X-plane will see that we do need more realism on that side to make it a truly immersive experience. But I'll put up with that for now. Oh, what's that down there? Wow. Out in the middle of nowhere there, running down. Not sure where they've been. Maybe for crafty smoke up the end of the airport. So there, you can see into the distance. Oh, we've got... are they... Not sure who they're for. Let's have a look, shall we? Ameriflight. Okay. What if anyone can tell me what they are? Is that something like courier service, or is that... Oh, look, there's even a... for testing for the firefighters there, practice putting out burning aircraft. Very cool. Very cool. Like it. So now I'm going to jump back in the aircraft now. Sorry for that. Let's start getting going. Okay. First of all, I'm going to bring this up. Now, let's see if I can remember how to load an existing flight plan in. Nope, not doing that. I do struggle a bit with the buttons on... No. Right, let's see if I can do it on there. Okay. Hey! Sorry, I didn't mean to do my Fonz impression there. Right. Okay, I do at least have it loaded in. Actually, let's do GPS. Okay. Right. Throw some fuel into this thing. Set my throttles. Get my engine started, and we're off. Okay, get my alternators on. Oh, I didn't get my beacon gun. Oh, there we go. They're all up. Okay, let's maybe just have a view from outside. I haven't got X camera installed yet. I will get that up and running soon because I prefer doing smooth views from outside rather than this shaky mouse view. Okay, I'm going to get us on our way. I'm not going to record the whole flight. I will chop different bits for you to get through the flight. Nobody wants to sit there for an hour while I do this flight. Whoop. Let's ease back. Okay, positive rate of climb. I'm going to bring the gear up. I just want to see the lovely scenery as I take off here. And away we go. So the scenery today that we'll be using is ortho for XP scenery I generated myself using Bing. Go find my other videos on that. Go find other people's videos on that. I think it adds so much realism to all my flights. I've fallen in love with flight simulation since I found that. I don't think I can ever go back to FSX or whatever they're going to come out with next. See, a lovely airport and a free download. Really amazing quality. Love it. You see a golf course there. Okay, let's just jump inside now. So again, do we want to see what the city looks at this time of night? In the evening, rather? Oh! Oh, it seems to have totally reset my weather there. Let's turn all that off. And clouds, we don't want any clouds. Because I just activated the control pad, it went back to what the settings were last time. So now we're at sunset. And I appear to have zoomed in a bit there, so let's have a look from outside, shall we? And see what around Portland looks like. I want a bit more visibility than that. And now let's take it forward to night time. Oh my. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Look at the traffic down there at the bottom. That still gets me. I remember reading somewhere that when they first added the traffic in, and I wasn't an X-Plane user, thinking, what a waste of time. Why did they develop that when they could have done so many other cool things? And you know what? That really brings the ground to life. Look at the roadways there. Oh, there's still some lighting problems though. What's this? There's some strange haloing effects going on there. Don't like that. Not sure why that's doing that. But anyway, I don't plan to do this flight at night because I doubt Mt St Helens looks very good in the dark. I'm going to bring it back to midday. Actually, maybe later afternoon. That's a more pleasing sunlight. So there we are, Mt St Helens in the distance there, up here. So I will see you when I get closer. So here we are, getting a little closer now to Mt St Helens, and by the time I've got it set, it's a late afternoon. We're in late September here doing the flight, but if you'd like to see what it looks like at night, I can show you that. And let's crank it forward to, there you go. And the thing I'll find here, which is probably a bit unrealistic, is all the roadways that are over the hills and mountains here, very active with cars. There's a lot of cars. So there's nothing that really sets aside whether it's the middle of a city or way out in the sticks. And there's the mountain in all its glory in the distance, with the missing bits on the other side. But we're going to fly around that in a few minutes. So you'll tune back in and I'll be there. This scenery does stutter a bit because I generated the whole lot at zoom level 18. A bit unnecessary, but I was just trying things out. And I do have a video I made early on where I actually generated that one scenery tile. So this is that tile. And I have to say it's actually slightly smoother in X-Plane 11 on the same machine than it was on X-Plane 10. So that's a good thing to know. So we've just deviated from our flight plan now, and I'm heading around Mt St Helens. And I just love this part because you really get the feeling of sort of depth, and you feel that that's an actual mountain top there, with roads all the way to the top, of course. But now as we come closer, you can see all the blast from the volcanic action that blew all this debris out. And then we can see it close up. I think this is definitely, with the photorealistic scenery, a flight that you've got to do. So I'm just going to keep flying around here. Thanks for watching part 1. Click on the link here to follow to part 2. Also, you can click on the link here to subscribe or like the video, and I'll see you in part 2.